Oh my God.
Every single time. Hello, ladies. Today we have another wonderful roundtable discussion. We're here diving into the side hustles that are transforming the way women make money, why honesty matters more than ever in coaching, especially when we look at the controversial story of Sadia Khan, and how mental exhaustion impacts our entrepreneurial journeys. We're exploring the latest science on cognitive fatigue and why understanding our brain is key to unlocking productivity and overcoming burnout. I am so excited. Just a quick reminder, as always, Emily and I, say hello, Emily. Emily and I are hosting All Women's Business Retreat this coming April 2026. If you are a woman business owner looking to get your business to the next level, you are going to want to join us. Let me bring the link up on screen. Take a screenshot of that, ladies. And let's get you in. We're meeting in Georgia. We're so excited. All right. We have a full house already coming on live. Thank you so much for joining us live. Listen, if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We speak to women entrepreneurs, first generation trailblazers. We meet every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We stream live here across 6+ different platforms to talk about issues that matter most to us as women business owners. Each week, we talk to you about the latest conversations that are shaping our entrepreneurial journeys, opening up about relevant insights and stories to empower you, to make you smarter, to help you make smarter, bolder decisions in your business. So let's introduce everybody. We got Emily Tassoni. Say hello.
Do you want me to? Hi. Hey. A little bit about me. I'm an Instagram growth strategist. So I teach ambitious, confident women just like you how to create content that allows you to be found on Instagram so your ideal client can pay you.
I love it. Debbie, want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Debbie Ropo, and I am a health coach. I help women in pre-menopause, menopause, and post-menopause so that their body can hold their business goals. I teach health as your business strategy.
I love it. And Orshi?
Hi, everyone. I'm Orshi Veresh, and I help establish women-owned businesses to elevate their online presence through rebranding, website refresh, and AI systems.
Love it. All right. So first on the list today that we're going to be doing is an Instagram share. So I was telling the ladies that Emily and I share reels almost all day, every day together that are just effing hilarious. And I'm like, how can I get this to my ladies? How can I share just this awesomeness? When I come across a reel, a TikTok that's just shareable. So I thought that this would be a great platform to do that, open up with just a really cool Instagram that we can kind of discuss and dissect a little bit. So right before this, we were trying to figure out how to get it onto the screen. It was this whole thing. You should have been there. But now that I'm about to share it live with the ladies, I'm realizing we didn't test the sound.
Let's see how.
So we're gonna do it, and then just let me. If you can't hear it, then we might have to just wait till next week. So here we go. So let me add the screen first. Also, just context, ladies. Like, this is how you learn how to do hard things, right? No one knows what they're doing when they first start to do things. You have to just start. You just have to just start, just wing it, and then you learn it, and then you know it, right? So this is it. It's Rachel Williams, which we changed the W and the R, and this is just, ladies, I just can't even. Okay, let's see. Let's see about this.
Me to leave my differing opinion below someone else.
Okay, can you hear it?
Pick up your meds.
Okay,
hang on. Pick up your meds. You couldn't pay me to leave my differing opinion below someone else's post. If I don't like something, I scroll. Like, you'll never catch me below someone else's post being like, actually, that's not a factual statement. Girl, bye. I get 30 seconds of clear-headedness a day. I'm not using my one lucid moment to leave my Kraft macaroni and cheese comment. No way. And some of you are out there fighting the good fight. Good for you. God bless. But like, some of you are in my comments leaving full-fledged thesis statements about something I never gave a shit about to begin with. Can you imagine spending 5 minutes writing a full-fledged paragraph only to be blocked, deleted, and blocked? Yo, you couldn't pay me.
Dude, that's a good one, isn't it?
That's so good.
I love the Kraft macaroni and cheese thing. Anyways, One of the things that really came up for me with this one is I don't care if you are responding to some sort of a troll or if you are a troll. Both of them are just a complete waste of time. And when we're talking in the world of entrepreneurship, right, we're talking to women business owners here, getting all riled up about some troll that's being negative, or if you are one of those people, right, we're wasting valuable mental and emotional energy towards this type of stuff. We really need to focus on our business goals and our personal growth. What do y'all have to say? What are your thoughts, ladies?
Yeah. Yeah, right away, the first thing is I get really curious about this because I know that we've got this, funnel in our brain that we funnel everything through and then we say, oh, this is the truth.
You want to have
It's not the truth. It's your truth. And so anytime I see something like that, I actually kind of feel bad. I have a lot of compassion because what kind of life do you have to have? Experiences where that's what you do, that's your go-to. I personally, I've come to a place in my life where I block and I don't think about it again. It gives not even an ounce of energy do you take from me. It's just it's ridiculous.
Totally. Emily, Orshi, what do you got?
I mean, joke's on them because engagement is positive. So if they're like trolling your content and leaving nasty comments, I mean, that's engagement to the algorithm. It looks like what you're posting is the kind of content that the algorithm is going to continue to promote. But also, I do agree from the perspective of if you have to take the time to jump on no one ever won an internet argument in the comments. Like you can't convince me of what you believe in a comment thread. I would much rather if we have a disagreement about what like the truth is, what our beliefs are. I would rather have an actual conversation, like an actual conversation. We can agree and we can have differing viewpoints. You trying to educate me in my comments or like come at me is like not the way to start that conversation. So cool. Thanks for the comment. Great for my engagement. And I will comment back, but usually it's something like, thanks so much for taking the time to leave a comment. I just leave it at that because it's engagement.
Yeah, I'm the same. What about you, Orshi?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I'm also thinking, like, how do these people have so much free time to do that? Especially us, like we wear so many different hats along the year, our lives. And we have a never-ending to-do list. And this is it never even occurred to me to put on a list. Let me look at other people's reels and comment something shitty, to be fair, because we're talking about when someone is really not in your positively reacting to what you're trying to say. And I'm always wondering first the time and then what made them do that. Like, does this make them feel good? Like, what's the goal behind it? Because there must be a goal. Like, they're feeling bad, so they want to make themselves feel better by bringing someone down or by taking the attention or whatever that might be. And I still believe that it would be the best to just like send a DM maybe and raise the concern, like, I don't agree with you, or I think you could have said it in a different way, but not try to like call all the attention to yourself through those comments.
What about for women who are not posting as often or at all because they're so worried? Like, I really like her mindset of it. It's just kind of like, if you're going to be trolling my shit, like, bye. How can we, right? Like, how can we as women business owners, we got ladies listening live right now with us who could possibly be worried. Like, I know I should be posting more, but I'm just so like leery of like what people are going to say if I differ in one way or another and not knowing how to handle that. What is the mindset? Like, what is a healthy mindset? I mean, obviously she gave us a good example of that, but how are you ladies overcoming that as far as getting out there and posting more, if that is something that you do, to be able to kind of overcome that stuff?
Yeah. One of the things for me is that with emotional maturity, I know that that's where they are. It's not where I am.
Yeah.
So I have a real it's very easy for me, but I wasn't always there. It took time to get to a place where my confidence level was, this has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you ladies. Truly, it has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. And so you think and you take this, oh no, this is what they're saying, and you start internalizing it. Put up your Superman shield, your Superwoman shield, right? It means nothing about you. It truly isn't. It's just them needing whatever it is that they need.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else? Any other?
I think the more visibility you have, so the greater reach you have, the more people you're in front of, the more likely you are to get negative comments. Yeah. And at the same time, the more likely you are to get validating comments. So we spend a lot of time worrying about the people that will disagree with us. And we forget that there's a whole trove of people out there that are waiting to hear the perspective we have to share, that are literally there to feel validated, to be able to connect with us. So everything Debbie said, how people comment is a reflection of who they are and how they feel and what they believe. It's not a reflection of us and our knowledge, our skills, our abilities, whatever that might be. That doesn't mean it can't be impactful. So I think validate if it makes you feel a certain way. And then you remind yourself as well, that's on them, not me. And know that, and come back to the people that are validating that what you are sharing is helpful to them, is what they needed, is exactly showing up exactly at the right time for them, and do your best to focus on that impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. So I want to talk a little bit about side hustles. So one of the things that we hear often when it comes to the world of entrepreneurship is just the rate of failure, right? There's this rate of failure of businesses that fail, and the businesses are failing because there is no money. I mean, that's literally why a business fails, just lack of money. And I think of when I was starting my business in the entrepreneurial world, and I didn't want to work a 9-to-5, not that there's anything wrong with that. I did my 9-to-5 for 2 years. I collected while I was running my business, I did a 9-to-5 way longer than 2 years. And then collected a large amount of money. And then I went off on my own, but there was still this fear of like, once that money's gone, I'm like screwed. So I got to do something, right? So I had a ton of side hustles when I first started my business. And I want to give light to this today. And I have this awesome link that I want to share with you, that when I found this on this woman, her name is Marissa. I found her on entrepreneur.com. And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, dude, I wish there was more women that understood that this sort of stuff existed. Because when I was running my business, I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5 because I was so worried about not having enough time to work my actual business, right? Growing Her Nation Global. So I did all these little side hustles on the side to be able to create that income for myself while I was working my side hustle. And I could work around myself, work around my calls, work around my podcast, whatever it was. And so anyway, some of the things that I did just in general is I cleaned houses. I had 4 houses that I cleaned. I was charging $140 a house. I was dumpster diving, flipping stuff on eBay and OfferUp. I was also a freelancer on Fiverr. One of the ways that I used to practice is I actually was a promoter for other online products. Before I even started doing anything with businesses, I actually was promoting other people's business. I would do commercials. They would hire me to do commercials for their businesses, which I just think is so funny. Like every time I do promotions or videos or anything for my own business, like brings me back to Fiverr. I'm like, that was my practice. That was my practice for like doing what I do now, which is just so cool. The other thing is Airbnb. I rented out 2 rooms in my house. And the other thing is dog sitting, which if you know me well, I still do dog sit. So I think that it's important for us to recognize that, like, yes, it's hard in the beginning, and it isn't just, the answer isn't just a 9-to-5 job. There are other ways of making money out there that can go in and out of running your own business. So anyways, this woman, I found her on entrepreneur.com. She barely has any followers on Instagram, which I thought was so cool. She's in entrepreneur.com promoting this, not as a advertisement, just like they were featuring her. She's done almost 500 tasks. And so this is an app. It's called TaskRabbit that you can literally download on your phone. And she does all kinds of things. Look, she'll come in and she'll baby proof your home for $51 an hour. She'll do electrical help. She'll actually like install a light for you. She'll do staffing for your event. So like if you're running an event at your house or you have a baby shower or anything coming on, you need some help. She can get hired for $44 an hour. She'll assemble your furniture. Dude, I'd freaking rock at that. You asked me to come over to freaking put together your IKEA furniture. I got you, babe. I got you. She'll do that for $48 an hour. General mounting, moving. She'll help you move for $154. She'll do painting, minor home repairs, organization. Girl, yes. You know how many ladies out there right now that are trying to run a business and they could very easily have an ad up here on TaskRabbit saying, hey, I'll help organize. And they can go to their home, organize on the side at night, after work, whatever it is, and still continue to run their business. I just thought that this was so cool and definitely something that I wanted to mention to my ladies here as far as an option if you are running on tight areas on your business as far as making your bills every single month when you're first starting your business. So anyways, I'd love to open it up to you ladies. Do you have any stories about extra ways that you made money or ways that you've heard of making any extra money, any hobbies? What do you got?
Oh, I have a huge list.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I really love this topic, by the way, because it just shows how multi-talented we can be as women. Like because we do so many things in like family and personal lives and stuff. And then you turn that into a business or a side hustle. I think that's so awesome. And it also helps to take the pressure off of having to run your business successfully. So it would pay all your bills and everything. Because when you start your business, all you hear is, oh yeah, it's really easy to make six figures and do the overnight success, right? We all hear that. And we who are in know that overnight success takes a couple of years, right? Depending on industry and skills. But for me, for example, it was kind of the first, when I started out, it was more of a family situation that I had so many ideas for what I wanted to do as a kid. And for example, I wanted to get my driving license and I knew that was going to be very expensive and I didn't want to ask my parents for the money. So I went and did some summer jobs so I can get that money. And that was my very first job, which was, I think it's called detasseling, when you it's an agricultural job when you remove the male flower from the corn. So it will be, it's going to be fertilized by another corn to create this hybrid, whatever. And that job was a very big thing throughout the summers. And a lot of people went and it paid well, but it was like so freaking hard, to be honest. Like you had to get up at 3:30 in the morning to be there by 4. And that was my very first job. But I made really good money for like just 2 weeks of work. That kind of covered my expenses for the driving license. So that kind of explains the amount of money you can get if you work well. And it's obviously based on performance. So it's not just be there and show up. I actually had to do the job. That was my very first, but it wasn't just good for the money. It also was good for me mentally. Like, I need to learn this is not the thing I'm going to do for the rest of my life, because I saw people who were there as adults and their main job was every day to go and do these agricultural tasks. That was probably good for money, but it just really took out everything from them. And then as I went up to university, I always covered myself as my expenses. And I was really studying hard to get even some tuition fees. So I had that money and I had from the side hustles that I did those clothing security tags in the store. I was a cashier and then I stood up. I became an HR assistant. At 20 years old, I was hiring people for eBay who were probably way more, way older than I was. And I was screening their CVs and telling them whether they were hired or not. So I got myself into really a difficult position sometimes, but it taught me so much. And it also showed me that, yes, no matter what's going on my main life, I can do anything else on the side to just keep myself going.
Love that. Very cool. Anybody else?
Yeah. One of the things about side hustles, and I was thinking about this, was I thought if you could potentially do a side hustle that supports your business, right? So maybe you're door dashing, but you're listening to podcasts all about business strategy and right, or you're dog walking and you're listening to how to this in your business. So I kind of thought, wow, wouldn't it be incredible if you did something that aligned with your business? This woman, what she's doing, that seems to take a lot of time, and that might be part of her business. I don't even know what her business is. I don't remember. So that I think is an important piece. Is there some way you can create an environment where you're doing your side hustle, getting that extra cash, and on top of that, you're also getting some information, you're learning, you're growing in that way. I thought that was a nice idea. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of different things. So yes to all I was a house/dog sitter through grad school. That was like a big thing that got me through grad school and created lots of connections. Currently right now I have a network marketing business that I had actually built pretty to like great success prior to the pandemic, but I still keep up with that and make a really nice income basically by keeping up with existing clients. So I had like done the work, and now that continues to be advantageous for me without taking a lot of extra time every month. I also have another business where I'm a group fitness instructor. So I use my background in athletic training and fitness and health. And I have a second business that literally pays me for the time that I would be working out anyway, right? So like I work out in the morning anyway. So now I teach classes 3 days a week and invite others to come join me. So they get to benefit from me creating the workout and do it, they just have to show up and do it. But I essentially am making an income during a time doing a task that I would already be doing. And continuing, I was also for a while, so like in my capacity as what I do now as an Instagram growth strategist, I teach my clients how to do the work. I don't do it for them, but I have taken on a few, I don't have any right now, but in the past I've taken on social media management clients in order to create another stream of income. So I for a while was managing a few different businesses and their social media, which was helpful for me because it was still like me learning in the same avenue of what I'm doing. But I don't want to do that overall. So I don't like advertise that, but it was a helpful tool for me to bring in an extra stream of income in a similar vein of what I currently do. So I think it's being open-minded to, I think we're still in this evolution of, at least when I was growing up, I'm in my 40s, it was still a lot of like, I saw my parents and their generation, they had gotten a job and kind of stayed with it through retirement. So I think we're still in this evolution period of you don't have to have one job in one sector forever, because there's so many different professional opportunities now and so many ways you can use your expertise, whether it's educational or experiential or a mixture of all of it, to serve a need and find that little niche, whatever it might be, to help you get to the place. Because we know also like seeing business growth the way we want usually takes at least 5 years. So if you can be building your business while also bringing in income in other ways, so that you have the energy, you have the time to actually invest in the growth of your business, because as was mentioned, overnight success is not overnight. Right? I mean, yeah.
Love it.
There's one more piece too about that is whatever you did before. A lot of the women that I work with they've left corporate and now they want to start a new career. So now they want to be entrepreneurs. So like for myself, I was a orthopedic office coordinator. I can mentor in that area. I can hop in there and you can do that. I was an x-ray tech. I could per diem. I know a woman who was a CPA. She's an entrepreneur. Well, she could do that on the side. So whatever your career was, you can potentially find little pockets that you can make some money off of that.
Yeah, definitely. I really like it, the fact that we mentioned like the old way of doing things as far as the 9 to 5. And like that's the only way of making money is the 9 to 5. You just have to be 9 to 5 or a full-time entrepreneur. Yeah. There are so many different avenues. When I think about my days back when I was literally flipping garbage here in bougie Boca Raton, there's sometimes at the end of the week, I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe how much money I was making off of people's trash. With all it was sweat equity. That was it. Just drive, well, and gas. But gas back then was so cheap. It wasn't COVID gas. It was like regular gas back then. But I couldn't even believe the amount, like people would come and drop $500, $600 with shit in my garage that I pulled out of someone's trash at 10 o'clock that night. It was just crazy. And that's what really opened my eyes up. The whole thing actually started with a TV. My son was like 14, 15 years old or something like that. And he was like, hey, can I drive? It was well before he was 16. And it was like late at night. We were in the neighborhood. And I'm like, sure, buddy, you can, yeah, whatever, you can drive. So I got out of the passenger seat. He's just driving around the neighborhood and there was a TV in someone's trash. You know, it was a flat screen. I'm like, I bet you that thing freaking works because these freaking bougie ass Boca people. I'm like, hey, stop real fast. I'm going to put that in my back seat of my freaking car. And I put it back there and I put it up on OfferUp just to like see, I don't know what was even going on. I put up for like $150 and somebody pitched me $100, picked it up that day. I made $100. And I was like,
Easy money.
Yeah.
That's what started the whole thing. It was insane.
Gary Vee talks. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, obsessed with Gary Vee.
Yeah, Gary Vee loves it. He's always going to the garage sales and he's like buying things. And then he's showing this is what I sold it for.
Yeah.
Like bugs and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. And I totally get what he means as far as like those smaller wins are such big wins. It's like so freaking cool to flip cash like that, flip items like that. So very cool. Speaking of entrepreneurship, the next topic that I want to talk about is how we are portraying ourselves online, right? Majority of women that we talk to here in the world of Her Nation Global, we're entrepreneurs, we're online business coaches, mentors. And I have found over the course of the last few years that there's some shadiness that happens every once in a while with how women are portraying themselves online, their certificates, the licensings, the titles that they hold for themselves. And anyways, I came across this individual. Her name is Sadia Khan. Let me pull up her thing really fast here. Her name is Sadia Khan. I used to follow this woman religiously. She is currently a relationship coach, and she's beautiful. She's like British or something. I don't even know. But basically what she does is she talks about how to be a feminine woman, how to attract a high value man. And she does courses. She runs courses and does one-on-one coaching with individuals that are looking to have really good, solid relationships. And then it came out probably around 6 months ago. And as you can see, her title here, SadiaPsychology.com, it's a little shady right there, because she is not a psychologist. And so it was not a thing until it was a thing. And all of this commentary came out about, like I said, 6 months ago, about how she is not who she says she is, and all of the degrees that she had posted on her social media and on her website were completely fraudulent and fake. And this woman has or had, I don't know if she lost any followers or not, but millions, tens of millions of followers off of these fake certificates and whatnot. So anyways, I found a podcast just to kind of catch all of you ladies up on this scenario. The total time, I'm going to be flipping through this one podcast. The reason I chose this podcast is because these guys were able to have her, they actually interviewed her. So it wasn't just like dudes just sitting around just talking smack. This guy was actually interviewing her on this podcast. And so I thought that was kind of cool. So you can kind of see her, hear the way she talks, hear the way she's defending herself or not defending herself. So ladies, if you could just sit tight while I kind of flip through these. There's 3 segments that I'm going to show you. They're about 1 to 2 minutes each. And then while I'm showing this to you, if you could think in your head as far as, have you seen this before? What are your thoughts on this? How should we as students, right, be gauging our coaches? Because this could also happen to us. Not only are there coaches that are doing it, but we could also hire a coach who's doing this. So kind of have that stuff on your mind kind of when as I'm going through this, along with just your thoughts on it. and then we'll kind of roll from there. So this is ABBA and Preach. They're absolutely hilarious, and they do great breakdowns of individuals that are shady in the industry of online businesses. So here we go.
Running theme. You're going to see how her words conflict with her history. Let's keep watching. If you're a health practitioner in the Emirates, you'll have to have a DHA license. If you don't, it's illegal and they can come after you. So she's definitely fraudulently claiming behind the scenes that she has a DHA license. But
so that means that right now,
I checked the registry. She's not there at all.
For the CBT,
imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I might have to get a YouTube
certification. Wow, that one was from where exactly? Was from the Center.
Excellent.
Okay, got it. So I know you got your BCS from University of London. Is there also a master's?
Yes. Well, I have a master's. I have a master's in education. And there's a University of London to qualify as a QTS, and that means that you can become a teacher. And you can feel free to check it or anything like that. Hopefully, my name should come up.
Was your master's at UCL ever on your website, or is there any of it online? That's what I guess I'm asking. Okay, I need to pause it. You're going to notice when I ask her a question, she's very, as a con artist, she's very good. I asked her about her master's. She says, yes, I have a master's, and I also have a QTS. QTS, I have a number, you can look that up, blah, blah, blah. So she's just firing. But I know you don't need a master's to get a QTS. QTS just means you're a qualified teacher. That's it. But here's the thing. If you're an educated person and you have a master's degree, which is your highest form of education for her specifically,
you're going to show your master's.
You're going to start with that. Yes. I don't ask a nigga who's a doctor for the education and here's my high school diploma. No, PhD. I don't need to see your bachelor's. She never produced it. I asked her an email 4 or 5 times. She sent me every certificate. I asked for the UCL. She ignored it. So it's on her LinkedIn. She claims she has a UCL degree, a master's. Nowhere. This is important. You can't become a psychologist unless you reach a certain level of education. And master's is not necessarily enough depending on where you do your master's. I already know she's not a psychologist because she doesn't meet the threshold to be able to even apply. Okay, that's one. 2, remember she mentioned that QTS thing. Mm-hmm. You see this email where it says this is my DHA license? Mm-hmm. I asked her if they were ever on her website. I know they were on her website. I want to see if she's on it. She took them off a long time ago. What she didn't know is that there's something called the Wayback Machine. Everything on the internet lives forever. So I went through her website archives and I saw what it looked like a couple of years ago. And I found what she had. Look at this shit, bro. This was on her website as proof that she's educated. So this is her Bachelor of Science. Here it is. This fake fucking Photoshop degree of a master's was on her website, my nigga. It has no date. When do you ever see a degree with no date of issue?
No date.
Do you see the name? That is a clearly Photoshopped on top of this degree.
But basically what happened was she probably took the pictures of that somewhere. And because she took it, it's kind of pixelated.
Yes.
And then she added.
Okay, this is the last one.
Okay. Now listen to her explanation again, because I asked her about this.
Yeah, I guess the question was
Center of Excellence is the one that she always brings up, and she shows everyone the degrees or whatever. It's an online school sham. Not serious. You would never become a psychologist from going to this school for 1,000 years. It's one of those places where you go online, you say a bunch of things, and then they give you a piece of paper. That's it. And there's a lot of fake schools that exist online like that, where you can just pay some money and you get a certificate, but it doesn't actually apply for any real world jobs. Ooh, so this one she thought she got rid of. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Do you see this Photoshop?
Again, it's the same thing. It's not the same fonts.
So the British Psychology Society is actually real. Oh, it is accredited.
All right. So this is what I kind of want to bring up, ladies, is this is happening. This isn't just her, right? This got caught because she's a high profile woman who has millions and millions of followers. And we have to be mindful that this is stuff that is happening all over the place. So I kind of want to open it up. What are your thoughts on seeing this? The interesting thing that I think is interesting, follow me please, is she's still using her name here, psychology, even though she's gotten caught for totally lying basically, and being leery of individuals that are doing this. Thoughts?
She might be actually using the get rid of trolls technique that we talked about. Like she's pretending that, if she doesn't interact with them and she's not doing anything about it, then that's not true.
Yeah.
Just reflecting back to the previous topic. But I actually I remembered just now that I did have a scam experience with someone that was fake as, and it was about 5-6 years ago. Back then I was freelancing, and this lady reached out to me that she is looking for people who can white label their services to her. So she's a design agency, and she's kind of selling branding website packages to her clients. And she was looking to create a team that she can outsource jobs to. And when we talked, it was just over the phone, and she seemed fine. Like it was a WhatsApp call, not with video though, which was one red flag in hindsight. Like it was just a phone call, but it still felt like, okay, well, at least we're talking, I can hear it. Like I'm quite a skeptical person in general, but I was very excited about the idea. And then she asked me to talk about my processes and share how I work with her. And I put together a spreadsheet on and the Google Doc on what's my process and how I do things, etc. So how this would fit into the way she's working. And then she kind of gave me some excuses of she's moving and she went MIA, and I tried to follow up, and she was asking for like, oh, can you share this with me and share that with me? So she pretty much asked for my entire process of how I'm doing things, and never followed up, and kind of disappeared. And after a while, I figured that she's a fake, she's a scam, like she doesn't even exist. And I don't know who she was, but I got so frustrated and so furious about it, first for myself, like with myself, because I'm like, looking back, I knew that it was happening, like because of the calls. Never was a call, it was just via email, I don't have the time, like a lot of different excuses that if you look at them piece by piece, you might think, oh yeah, that's normal, we're women, we have things, I moved, I know what, it would take a lot of time to resettle and get things in order. But then, like, what I hated about it is the fact that she's going to do this to someone else, and there's no way for me to expose her. And then I thought, do I even want to expose her? Like, yes, to save others from going through this, but then on the other hand, I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I just want to get over it. I want to be like, yeah, lesson learned. It wasn't a good experience at all. And I revoked all the access to everything that I shared with her. Luckily, it didn't go through the fact of, or the part when she would have paid me or not paid me. Because it wasn't even that, became shady, like, oh, if you can pay for this, then I will send you that. So it's kind of when it all went ballistic in my head that is not true. So I can relate from the perspective of being the victim, or that side of it, of when you are being scammed. And since then, again, like just doing whatever possible to double check, especially if there's someone that seems too good to be true, it's probably not true. So just like do the due diligence, do the homework, and check up on someone. Especially as you said, Sabrina, you were following this lady. You didn't think that she's going to be fake someone, so you never know when it's coming. So a healthy level of skepticism is really important.
Yeah, and she really presented herself as being a, professional, like some sort of a doctor of some kind. And it's low key in the title of everything she does. It doesn't say psychologist, but, Sadia Psychology, which now looking at it from now, we know right now, she's just saying, hey, this is basically my mindset, my framework. Like psychology, she's kind of using as a play on words. But these are the kinds of things that people are doing that are making us think a certain way, and it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, and in terms of, like, in my case, she had her own website, so she was supposed to be a designer with an agency, and I looked at her work, and I'm like, are you really? Because it doesn't look like it looks shitty, to be honest. But then I thought, well, maybe she can sell it, because I know there are some people who would still make money from not as nicely designed websites as you would expect. So I thought, okay, maybe yes, she could use someone who has more eye of a design and be able to do it. And that even that, like, it rang the bell, but it didn't ring it enough on that level for me to look into her earlier.
Yeah. Wow.
As a health coach, this is
Yes.
thing that hits home for me. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, and less than 10% of health coaches are board certified. That means 90% of the people out there, you can take, I saw one the other day, 2 weeks, 2-week course, and you can go hang a plaque on your door. I'm a health coach. And you start, and people think, oh, it's a health coach.
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous I had a client who came to me and she had another health coach, who wasn't certified. And the information that she was given, it was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's really, really important to look up credentials. Where do you have to, go to the NBCWH? Is that what it is? Yeah, whatever it is. NBCHWC, whatever it is, to look up and say, hey, who's the board certified, right? If I'm looking for who's actually has the license, because you can't trust, and I see it all day long on the information that's given, that's going to make you sicker, that's going to cause real risk for some people. Red light's great for everybody. No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you've got skin cancer and you're throwing red light on it, right, it could potentially be a problem. Maybe not, but it can be, because it can make cells grow, right? So it depends. It's bio-individual. And if you don't know that, then you're just spitting information out, and it can be really dangerous. So credentials to me I know that a lot of people, I've actually said that out loud, and people say, well, I think a person's experience, their life experience, if they've gone through it. Well, I went through RA, and when I went through RA, I wasn't ready to teach people how to overcome RA. I experienced it, and I can empathize with you, but I didn't have the credentials yet to actually work with a client.
Yeah. Yeah. So prevalent in the health industry, for sure. Even just the MLMs. I get so frustrated because I do networking calls all day, and at least one or two of them is a MLM, some seller of Herbalife stuff, which is fine, right? But they're presenting themselves as a health coach.
Yeah.
They're and these are the words that they're using, and they're freaking not. They're just a mom sitting at home with their 3 kids. They have no idea what's going on. They had some ho-hos earlier that day, and they're trying to sell me on their MLM that they're selling, and telling me that they're some sort of a health coach. Yeah. Emily, what do you got? I feel like you just gave me these numbers. Weren't we just talking about this the other day, where you were talking about dietitians and how exactly what Debbie just said?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot of personal feelings about this from my professional experience, because I'm a certified athletic trainer, which, again, like Debbie mentioned, I have an educational degree. I have to take board certification. I have to do CEUs to keep it up. I have to have licensure within the state where I practice. So I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of feelings about this. So what I'll say about this conversation specifically with this woman is she does, you eventually find out she actually has a degree, a teaching degree, and she could have used that to be a relationship coach. She obviously has a degree in teaching, and coaching is a lot of teaching. So the fact that she fraudulently and in lots of detail created falsified so that others would believe that she had this level of education that she does not is scary, to say the least. And also, if you continue to watch this video and do more research, there's so many links that she went to make it look real. So even if we are doing our due diligence, a lot of times scammers like this are making it look like real enough to those of us that don't. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I don't know enough about all the things she's sharing and the way she talks around in circles to be able to pull it out. So I found this YouTube video pretty fascinating. Yeah. And what I think a takeaway is for those of us that are looking for coaches, is to ask a lot of questions so that we make sure we're investing our time, effort, energy, money with someone that we can validate their experience and their credentials. And then for us as providers, we have to make sure that the way, like as coaches, that the way we are presenting ourselves aligns with what our level of knowledge is, what the proper terms are for what it is we're doing. Again, I had mentioned to Sabrina, like to become a dietitian, it's a very different path for education, certification, licensure than a nutritionist. And the general public doesn't know that difference. So you can work with a nutritionist who hasn't done applied care and actually like studied the science behind nutrition and do a lot of damage. Just like Debbie is mentioning with health coaches. I have a lot of feelings about, I'm sure this will like stir some things up I have a lot of feelings as working in sports medicine with injuries and having a degree and board certifications and all of that with CrossFit coaches, because you can like go and take CrossFit and then you're like, oh my God, I love CrossFit. I'm going to get certified through CrossFit to become a CrossFit coach, but you have no understanding of kinesiology, of applied anatomy and physiology, of sport nutrition. You have no background in it. You take like a course that CrossFit created to become a coach. You can do so much damage to the people coming. So I think it requires, the onus is then on us as consumers, and that's exhausting. And I hate that for us. And I hate that there are people out there pulling the wool over our eyes, so to speak. I hate that we have to do this extra due diligence as consumers because we have too many other things going on. And I also think it's necessary anymore. And I would hope that if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm not representing myself in the space of what I'm doing most appropriately, I hope you might also evaluate your forward-facing lingo, the words you are using, the titles you are giving to yourself, the things you're saying. I'm not saying you have to scrutinize every single thing, but there are important things you do need to scrutinize as you're putting yourself and your services and your products out there.
Yeah. Do
Emily, that one triggers really. That is so important because, like I said, I'm a health coach, I'm board certified, and I have other credentials. I'm not a nutritionist. When I'm coaching, or when I'm coaching clients, I don't give them meal plans, specific meal plans.
That's right? So big. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'll say things like, I can send you a sample one, bring it to your doctor.
Yep.
Tell me what, let him review it with your medical and all of your, right. That's what a health coach does. Yes. But I'll tell you what happens is the health coach I literally have, I can pull it up right here. I have my, how you become ethical as a health coach. And it's something that I consciously think about because do I know some incredible things about health and nutrition? I certainly do. But I throw it out as, hey, these are some ideas. Check with your doctor to see, does this work for you? Will this work for you? And I think that's such an important part. And that's integrity. You have to walk in integrity. I can't, if I get it, I couldn't sleep at night. So it's just something I have to do.
Yeah. It's all about the scope of practice, right? And those of us that, like they were saying in this video, if you have a master's, if you're in a field that requires a master's specifically, but bachelor's as well, you learn your scope of practice really well and the ethics of stepping over those boundaries. And I think there's not enough discussion about that in the online world. And everything you just said, Debbie, is so poignant to, I hope those of you that are like, I have a health coach and they've given me specific meal plans. Please know that is outside their scope of practice, unless it is a registered dietitian.
Yes.
Dietitian, not nutritionist, dietitian. They should not be giving you prescribed meal plans. Because I think health is like a really great, this situation, a relationship coach, health coaching, we're all looking for that. We want that. We're in a time where we want those things to thrive. And there are people out there that are being unethical, without integrity, putting things out there. Again, it's on us to our due diligence. And if it feels any sort of ick, move forward, move on. Report them if there's a board to report them to, if that feels appropriate, but bye. just like in the original Instagram video we watched.
Yeah, and for those who you mentioned that they might, they realize that they might not be aligned with what they're saying or showing up from themselves. I think there's no harm in admitting if you don't know something or you're not certified or prepared for that. It's way better to say, like, depending, like our industry with Sabrina is different than yours. We're not in the health or coaching industry in that sense. So, I mean, we need to like differentiate that. We don't need special hard word certifications in order to do our jobs, and ethics is different on our level. We still have it. What I'm saying is, when someone asks, like even clients, if they ask you to do something and you are not prepared for that, you're not sure, you can say, listen, I'm not sure about it. I'm going to look into it. So this kind of just thinking about the solutions that people can do. You don't have to say, oh yeah, I can do that, and then realize a day later that, oops, I don't, because that's going to make you fall short. So it's better to say, I'm going to look into that, which is what they teach in consulting.
Yes.
I did a lot of consulting years ago, and I still do that. Like, I'm using a lot of consulting techniques from my corporate years that I use even up today, because you need to consult the person and you won't know the answers to everything. So admitting that you don't know, obviously, how would you, right? Nobody knows the answer to everything. Even ChatGPT might not know the answer yet. But just saying, yes, I'm going to look into it and follow up with you. And then it gives you time. You look into it. Maybe you can fix it. Maybe you can solve the problem. Or maybe you can point them to someone who actually has the credentials to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And that's why you need a community like H Club. So you have the network.
Yeah.
I know that we're at the top of the hour. So if any of you ladies need to jump, feel free. But I do want to, we got a couple more minutes here. So the last thing that I want to show, I'm showing this last part just because it's low key funny. And then I have one more point to make. And then once that point is made, we'll open the floor again and then we'll close this up. But let me play this.
Yes, and that means that you can become a teacher.
I keep asking about her master's and it keeps mentioning this QTS shit. And I'm like, show me your degree.
Master's degrees are just like vegan people. You don't need to ask. They'll tell you they have.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing that they're gonna leave.
Yo, you got your master's? Where your master's at? Oh, is that what it is? Yo, let me see. Okay. Oh, so hold on. Ask me for my master's.
Is that your master's?
So I have my QTS right here. It's right there. Any other questions?
Yes, you have your master's.
Absolutely. If you just look right here at my QTS.
Cool. What about your master's?
Okay. Say ah. Say ah. Do you want to know what she said at the end? Okay. About the UCL?
This is great.
Done the call.
This is great.
Listen, I'm not going to make another video if you just send me the UCL and your British Psychology Association certificate. I want to see that because those two pieces.
That's the big one.
Sadia said it's okay if we stick with the narrative that she's not qualified and it is fake. She's super nervous. Anything said will lead to more backlash. We're so sorry to do this. It's just that she has to be very, very careful. If she says the rumors are not true, she may get new rumors. So sorry for this. Certificate copy of entry of marriage. She sent me that.
Send me your UCL.
Now I have my citizenship papers. Would you like to see those?
No, I want to see the UCL.
I have a Costco card.
I want to see your master.
Is that so good?
I have a Costco card. Wow.
But at the end result, right, she realized that she couldn't keep doing this facade anymore because people were calling her out. There was too many people looking at her, and they were figuring out that what she was saying and the paperwork that she was putting together. Nowadays with things like Canva, you can freaking, like, imagine being a little 8th grader trying to change your grades with freaking the things that we have now. Back then, we used to have to like write it in, white out, and then take it to the nearest 7-Eleven, make a freaking photocopy of it, and like bring it. It was like a whole thing you had to do to change your grades.
Sabrina, do you have experience in that?
Yes, very specific.
I never had to do that.
I paid 13 cents for those copies.
No clue over here.
13 cents for those copies.
Yeah. I want to say one thing about that because that was something else that I actually put on my notes. The physical suffering, the physical health suffering that you're going to get by trying to fake it and lie. You think it's nothing, and you don't think you're just going to be able to fake it through. I'm telling you, that anxiety is going to create some real unhealthy things in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And to this point, it's not all fun and games, right? But like, that was kind of like a cutesy way of ending that there. But not only, I want to just highlight this, not only can individuals just straight up lie and just make stuff up, but there's also instances, I don't know if either of you or any of you know about the Utah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, so this woman right here, Jody, was a therapist, and then she lost her license. And the way that she got
unethical things, unethical things.
Yes, and this, if you guys don't know this story, like, highly recommend you to watch anything on, like, this is on Netflix, this is on Prime, it's insane what happened with children in this story. But Jody was a therapist. She lost her license, and then she was working underneath a coaching identity. Right. So a lot of therapists nowadays, they go from therapist, and now they're kind of treading this gray line of like, oh, I'm also a coach. So they don't have to necessarily follow all the rules of what a therapist needs to follow. But in this instance, again, right, we have to be diligent in making sure we're understanding. This woman had, I don't even know, thousands and thousands of followers. Okay, there you go, millions. Under the context of religion and therapists and helping individuals with their marriages, and the things that she was having these individuals do was insane. So it's not just, making sure that they have a master's degree. It's also, they could have at once been who they said they are, and they no longer are.
Wow.
I've watched both of the docuseries on Netflix about that situation, and it is as fucked up as you it's, and the trigger warning is like torturing children. So like, don't watch it if that is something that you can't handle.
Can't do it. Yeah, I'm Pollyanna. I need to be on the Disney Channel.
It is.
Probably won't be watching it either.
My God.
But it is interesting, and it was in the end, the children came out and they were saved, and all good now, and the ladies are in prison. They got convicted. They're guilty, and so
Wow.
Yeah, luckily they found out. But
how
many cases they don't know what's happening?
Yeah, and it was a little boy. It was their little son who escaped out of freaking handcuffs and went door to door, freaking 3 doors he hit, ringing the doorbell, trying to get saved, and finally someone answered. And it was crazy. But so, due diligence on our end as far as hiring a coach, and then obviously, if you're one of these people that are walking that gray line of putting things in your bios, putting things as your name that aren't quite, they're a little shade-erific, you might want to be careful. We always want to make sure that we're showing up as authentic business owners who are, being straight shooters, honest, truthful, all those things. Any closing thoughts, lady, as we wrap up?
On that note, I believe the fake it till you make it can be a bit a trap for some of the people who believe that they need to show up some kind of evidence of they're doing something that they're not necessarily qualified. And that scent is fake it till you make it could be part of that.
Misconstrued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just creating that identity, like, oh, I'm successful. I'm doing this. I just hit 6 figures. I'm working with these people. And it's a big hot air of balloon, right? And for those, well, I don't even know what to say because I'm not in that context, but I think it's really important for both ends. Like if someone's trying to show up as like, oh, I'm confident, I'm doing certain things to get clients or get more traction to what they're doing, eventually the truth will come out. And as Debbie said, yes, you might even get sick for lying constantly and then not even being able to keep up all your lies. And then on the other end, just think about how many people you might damage in any way, not necessarily abusively, but financially or mentally, or just taking their time, which is what we never will get back. Like if you mess with someone's time, that's I don't think it's really great.
Yeah, I agree. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being here. If you're listening live, thank you so much. If you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay and let us know that you watched, and we will send you some love in the comments. We covered a lot today, how side hustles can empower us to create more income and freedom, and the importance of staying away from shady coaching practices. As we continue to build our businesses, let's stay true to ourselves, keep growing, and remember to protect our mental health. We'll be back next week with more insights to help you make bolder, smarter decisions for your business. Stay strong and stay focused. And as always, ladies,